the hour, the Senate's highly anticipated border deal facing an uphill battle. GOP senators holding a meeting last night as more than a dozen are pushing back against the legislation. They're citing a provision that allows President Biden to temporarily suspend all border emergency for a 45-day period. The bill is also facing pushback in the House. Speaker Mike Johnson writing this in a joint statement, along with other House leaders. The bill, quote, fails in every policy area needed to secure the border and is dead on arrival in the House. He's encouraging the Senate not to pass the bill. President Biden shared a message to Speaker Johnson with reporters. Watch this.
We don't have enough agents. We don't have enough folks. We don't have enough judges. We don't have enough folks there. We need help. Why won't they give me the help all this time? And now they're starting about the border. It's out of control. Well, guess what? Everything in that bipartisan bill gives me control. It gives us control without being, and still meets the needs of the people being able to legally come across.
It's out of control. I thought it was a secure border, Mr. President. You've been saying that for 2 years. The Senate is expected to vote on this bill tomorrow. Krysia Lenzo, your reaction.
He already has the control, which I think he just simply does not understand. Joe Biden has the tools in his toolkit. He has laws, he has executive orders, which he's undone from the Trump administration to stop what is occurring at the border. But this border bill, the only person it helps is Joe Biden, because he's using it as a political tool to then go about face and blame the Republicans and saying why we don't have a safe border. Oh, it's the Republicans' fault that we're not able to pass this bill. Not to mention, the bill also helps Ukraine. $60 billion going to the Ukraine attached to what is occurring with respect to our national security. It's outrageous. The lack of accountability. I'm so glad to hear Mike Johnson is saying that it's DOA. There's no reason that this amnesty bill, which basically codifies people crossing the border 5,000 per day, should be allowed to pass. And for Republicans, any Republican, to support this, I think, in my opinion, is treasonous, because it goes against all sorts of national security issues we're currently facing.
Michael Lee, your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a slap in the face to every single hardworking man and woman in America. First, Speaker Johnson pointed out correctly, the Biden administration has taken 66 separate executive actions to weaken the border. We do not need more money. We do not need another law. There are laws in the books that are intentionally being not enforced to have an invited invasion of our country and a total and complete violation of our sovereignty. The $60 billion to Ukraine. In this package, the United States Marine Corps' annual budget is $53 billion. And this comes on the heels of Seymour Hersh reporting that CIA Chief Burns went to Ukraine a year ago to tell Zelensky to stop stealing so much money. Okay, this is disgusting on every single level. And any Republican that remotely supports this should either be deported to the Democrat Party or primaried and kicked out forever.
Well, that's what President Trump said to me the other day, that any Republican who signs on to this should be ashamed of themselves. I'm wondering if all of those Republicans in the Senate who are pushing this legislation are also supporting an impeachment of DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Where do they stand on that? His job is obviously on the line. The House Rules Committee is voting overnight to send the case against him to the full chamber, with a possible floor vote on this coming as early as today. The White House, meanwhile, of course, is condemning the impeachment efforts, writing this: impeaching Secretary Mayorkas would be an unprecedented and unconstitutional act of political retribution that would do nothing to solve the challenges our nation faces in securing the border. Krysia?
I mean, we know he's not going to get impeached, but we have to go forward. The Republicans have to go forward with this action, because if he is not held accountable, then we have no idea as to what is occurring. I mean, clearly, he's derelict in his duty, much like the Biden administration. And this is all happening in concert. Joe Biden, those who support him, part of his administration, are doing this purposefully. They're allowing people to come into the United States because it is helping their vote. I think they're hoping by giving people free prepaid credit cards, by allowing people to come in and seek amnesty, literally terrorists coming in and seeking amnesty. This will help them gain votes in the election. Luckily, the border is the #1 issue that we're facing right now, and Joe Biden's overall ratings and poll numbers are terrible on that particular issue.
Yeah, Mike, final word here.
Yeah, look, I think it's kind of a waste of time. I think Joe Biden should be the one being impeached for these things.
Yeah.
I think this is the #1 reason for impeachment, above and beyond all the corruption that he's been involved with.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it dies in the Senate, even if the Republicans go along with that notion.